The lauded Dr. Fauci gives America permission to celebrate Halloween. Container ships crowd outside ports unable to unload cargo, and the White House suggests doing your Christmas shopping before the 31st of Spooktober, which in all honesty is just big government's attempt to remove jack-o'-lanterns from stores and replace them with Randy the Skeleton Reindeer, making Xmas king of the secular holidays. With supplies remaining on cargo ships, I'm waiting on a computer chip for my pedal car and a laptop charger so I can reschedule my Southwest flight in case the weather clears up and edit this podcast. Superman is gay, unemployment is rising in the face of available jobs, Australia continues pushing back, and I couldn't get into the Battlefield 2042 beta. In light of all of this, all I can do is say, let's go Brandon. I'm Blue Shark 45, and this is the G.N.A. podcast. Hail, salutations, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the G.N.A. podcast. I'm your host, Blue Shark 45, and that noise you probably hear behind me is my wife deciding to use the shower at this point of the show. Hopefully we can edit that out, but you never know. Tonight, we are joined by the original cast and crew of the G.N.A. Oh, wait, Cecil's not here because he's a loser and he's traveling. That's right, Cecil, I can talk smack about you when you're not on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, we're joined by the majority of the original G.N.A. crew, but let's not talk about those boring people. Let's get into the more important people, and let's talk about our guest tonight, Vintage. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing well. It's nice to think that even with my level of consistency from time to time, I'm still just a regular old guest, but hello. Good to be here.
Glad to have you, bud. And we have Damok. How you doing tonight, Damok?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm disappointed because you said your wife was taking a shower, but she entered the room fully clothed, and now I'm just a little sad on the inside. And he can't even hear me right now.
Sometimes that happens.
He's zoned out.
What's
entirely.
That sound?
Look,
not my wife taking a shower.
Don't look at that disappointment in her face. Blue is just wrecking it. Like, nope. No, ma'am. You get.
We were expecting
a
towel.
Sandwich.
We were expecting a towel and a sandwich.
Right?
No, my wife is a little more conservative than that. But the sandwich would have been nice. But I already ate dinner.
He's digging his own grave right about now.
Oh, I've dug my own grave many times, and I've gotten out of it. Isn't that right, hun? And ladies and gentlemen, you heard him. We've got D. How you doing tonight, D?
Doing all right. I've got myself a new beer I'm trying, so I'm happy.
That's great. We'll have to get into what you're consuming tonight. And ladies and gentlemen, you can hear him, and he can kind of hear you. We've got Zyber. How you doing tonight, Zyber?
Hello, I'm here. I'm not dead yet, but it sounds like I'm almost there. Nah, I'm good. Yeah, a lot of shit's been going on. A lot of shit has happened. A lot of shit has gone by. Yeah, I guess I'm alright. I'm surviving.
Well, you've got a lot of greenery behind you. It's a good look.
Yeah, you got a nice looking room there.
My weed, dude.
Hydroponics. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the G.N.A. podcast, and if this is your first time listening to it, that stands for games, nerds, and alcohol. We've got nerds. We've hopefully been playing games, and ladies and gentlemen, we have alcohol. So let's get into what we're consuming tonight. D, what are you drinking, bud?
Well, I grabbed up from Opa Opa this Opa Fest October Lager. So a nice quality lager beer right here. Usually the term lager is actually originated in Germany, and it meant storage. They used to brew these at a much colder temperature than other beers, and fermented them at colder temperatures, and they used to store them in some caves. And that was the origins of the lager. So I'm trying one right here in the spirit of, well, technically Oktoberfest is in September. Here in America, they usually have those festivals in October because they get a little confused, but in the spirit of it, I'm drinking one because, Oktoberfest has been canceled over in Germany and haven't been back in a while, so I'm going to try it out now. Let's see how it tastes.
I don't think they're going to let you back into Germany, D. I think you've done too many things.
That's pretty good. They're a lighter beer, so it's a much smoother. They're not as bitter as IPAs, so it was a really smooth beer. And I'll just have to get sneakier to get back in.
There you go.
See, I'm very sneaky.
And if video games have taught us anything, there is a subway leading from Moscow to the dead center of Berlin. You're welcome.
Very good. All right, Vintage, what are we consuming this evening, my good sir?
Well, for anyone who's been following my little escapades today and for the last couple of days, which have been minor but very vocal, you can assume I'm having quite a bit. I am almost done with a very wonderful, fuck you, Zyber, no, it's not Dogfish, excuse me, it's Flying Dog. It's the Gonzo Willet Bourbon Barrel-Aged Porter. Very delicious. It's just so simple. You get the very nice, robust taste of a porter, and then it's exactly what you'd expect from a traditional barrel-aged beer.
No,
Simple
you had
taste,
it right the
unlike
first
the
time.
fucking
It tastes
name.
like a portal. It would definitely have the taste of a portal.
And if you guys could tell, I've definitely been drinking before the show. But no, it tastes like it's gonna be a little ridiculous, but in a simple sense, it is a basic porter that's been bourbon barrel aged. It's nothing crazy.
Everybody
It's
drink,
nothing
he
out
said
there.
basic.
That was kind of the point. You caught the pause there. So, and in that sense, you know what? Sometimes you need a little simplicity, and that simplicity just leads to good overall flavor, and you don't have to think about it too much because it's not the most complex thing in the world.
I'll have to disagree. I don't think that beer has much flavor other than liquor. It tastes like someone put way too much booze in their beer.
Yeah, which I'm
I mean,
okay with
like,
as I sit here and supplement
a
with
very
a
large shot,
glass of whiskey.
Boilermaker. That's basically all it is to me. It was
Fair enough.
too strong. I don't really care for the taste of whiskey myself, so it's like I'm not a huge fan.
That could be the problem.
That's the problem.
I love bourbons and whiskeys and all of that wonderful stuff, but yeah, if you're not a fan of them and you don't like them, then stay far away from them because you're
there
never
are
going
some
to like them.
whiskeys that I really enjoy. There are some scotches that I really enjoy. It's just most Kentucky style whiskeys, Tennessee style whiskeys, I do not like.
Hold on. Those are called bourbons.
Yeah.
They're not
So
called
let me
whiskeys.
ask you something, Zyber.
It's
Is one of
all-
your favorite notes
it's
defined
burn.
like
It's
vanilla?
burn.
You don't like burn, but do you like vanilla?
Yeah, and I usually tend to go towards those style
Exactly.
bourbons, whiskeys, and scotches that have like flavors and not just burn.
Yeah, and that's what you get sometimes when you've got a little too much oakiness. Oakiness and spice and tobacco, some people really enjoy. I myself, I love being able to differentiate between those flavors. But honestly, there's not enough whiskeys, and you just touched on it with that flavor profile right there, that are vibrant, that have a lot of vanilla, even though oak barrel is a very simple way to get a vanilla flavor. It's just a little annoying sometimes that there's not more vanilla-forward whiskeys.
See, like, when it comes to whiskeys, one that I really loved and I enjoyed a lot, and I still buy bottles of it to this day after getting that first bottle, is Ardbeg. I love all their stuff. I love that smoky peat flavor in that scotch.
And oddly enough, there is a hint of vanilla in that very very smoky scotch, which that's making sense to me now, Zyber. I'm breaking away that shell.
I like Glenfiddich also. I mean, sure, the younger stuff has a lot of burn, but the older you go in that, I find it very flavorful and enjoyable.
Yeah,
In
the
my
sweet spot's
experience-
like 14.
In my experience, the younger stuff has less of a burn. It's when she's older and a little bit more experienced that those pills come in handy.
I think it just comes down to what other barrels she's touching her pot in.
Yeah, exactly. What other walls she's scraped against.
Blended helps.
Blended does smooth it out.
It does. All right. So, Zyber, what are you consuming this evening?
Well, I am saying fuck it. If I get called in, I get called in. What the fuck ever. I am drinking a Frog Alley, if I can talk, a Frog Alley Harvest Ale. It is a pumpkin spice ale. It is the only pumpkin spice ale that I actually enjoy. It actually tastes good. It doesn't taste like rotted, fermented pumpkin pie in a fizzy water. You could taste all the vanilla. You could taste the clove. You could taste the pumpkin. And it's not a horrible aftertaste. It's very enjoyable. The folks at Frog Alley, the guy Rich, he doesn't have... I can't talk. He still works at the college, and I was going to have him on the show. He's the former brewmaster at Saranac. I'm still going to try and get him on the show at some point. I just got to get down there and touch base with him. That all fell through when I left the school. But, yeah, I mean, they're amazing. And to think I gave them some Rive Zones from my batch, and they're probably in some of the beers. Like, to think about that possibility of my hops in their beers, and their beers are pretty damn tasty.
That's awesome, Zyber. I'm really jealous.
Yeah, that is legit. Although, so it's Frog what?
Frog Alley Brewery.
Frog Alley, and what's the name of the beer?
It is Harvest Ale.
Harvest Ale. Have you had Southern Tier's Pumpkin out of curiosity?
I don't like the Southern Tier Pumpkin Ale or pumpkin beer or
Well, so
whatever.
It's a
They have
little
two of them.
heavy. It's
They
a
have
little
two.
heavy.
Hold on, they have two, right? They have a weird pumpkin one, which tastes like fucking ass, and then they have Pumpkin, like King. That one, yeah, it's a heavier beer, but that one tastes like fucking apple pie. Jesus Christ, pumpkin pie to me. I can really enjoy that, but I can only drink like one because it's honestly, that's a slice of pumpkin pie to me. It's got all the spices. It hits. It tastes like it, and it's heavy like pumpkin pie to me.
I agree with you on that, Damok. It's rich and filling. And actually, I stumbled upon this year. Dogfish Head's got a pumpkin release that is fantastic. It almost is exactly what you're describing from that heavier Southern Tier, but like cut in half. Like you still maintain that flavor profile, but it goes down just a little smoother. So you can have 2 or 3. And then you'll get full because you just consume 600 calories.
All right, Damok.
No. You said D first.
No. D's already done his thing. So Damok.
Take another drink, D. Take another drink.
It's the Oktoberfest
Jesus.
lager. 5.7% alcohol by volume.
I'm just saying. I mean, you said D.
We're talking ABV. This is 13, baby.
Wise Alec.
I'm drinking Yingling Hershey Porter. And
That
Yingling?
stuff's crack.
yeah, Yingling makes a Hershey Porter. It's officially licensed through Hershey. They add Hershey milk chocolate to it, so it's a chocolate porter. And holy shit, dude. Now it's only like 4.7%, but when you drink it, that whole aftertaste is like you literally just swallowed a chunk of the Hershey candy bar, and it's good. It really is just fucking good. It's a sipper though. I can't like, oh, this is great, let me chug it back. It's a good fucking chocolate porter. If you like Hershey's chocolate.
I gotta say though, I kind of went yuppie hipster at a friend's house. They had the Paps Yoo-Hoo. They're actually pretty decent, except for afterwards, you just drank a glass of milk and you got that like thick saliva in the back of your throat. I didn't like that from it.
And the runs are incoming. Yes, I know exactly the feeling you're referring to.
And for our listeners and for the people that are watching us, please stop hacking into our feeds. But for our listeners, it's pronounced Yingling Hershey Porter, not Yingling.
I don't want to be the guy that corrects Damok. I'm just going to go on record.
Yingling.
Yingling, the oldest brewery in America.
You called it Yingling.
Yinling.
You're saying the same fucking word.
No, you said
Yingling.
Yin.
No,
Damok, you said
not
Yin. Ling. It's Yingling. You cut the G entirely. You did Yin hyphen Ling. Yinling is what you were saying.
I went to the brewery and they never corrected me, so fuck you guys.
They're like, he's here to buy our
they
beer.
do with a lot of people have been drinking.
Goes good with my chitlins.
Also, I never went to the brewery, so fuck you guys as well. No one called me out on shit.
No, but I know what you mean. For a low ABV chocolate porter, Damok, it is surprisingly heavy. Like, I could drink it a little quicker if it's like super chilled, like almost to like a Pilsner or lager level. But you definitely want that a little closer to room temp before you drink it, because it almost like it adds to that chocolatiness.
Yeah, I have noticed it. If I sip on it and let it warm up a little bit, that it has more chocolatey flavor to it overall. I enjoyed the profile for the Yingling and all of that. But yeah, it's pretty fucking good.
Very nice. I'll have to look into getting that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm enjoying my very last 120 that Cecil got me for my wedding. And it is bottled in March of 2018. So a few years old. Still good. Still citrusy. I've been sipping on it because, well, I'm not going to chug the thing before we really get into the meat of the show. But, yeah. High alcohol content. One beer. I like the efficiency of this.
Now, Blue, question for you. When you say it's still good, are you making a joke, or are you more referring to you'd rather get those citrusy notes and not those earthiness that comes through as it ages longer?
I like the citrus. I'm not...
Gotcha. So you're really playing that numbers game where how long is too long. Now,
Yeah,
I'm also sitting here going, like 6 years from now, I could see myself having another one of these.
Well, I mean, Cecil told me when he gave it to me, he's like, I have no idea how old these are, but here you go, bud. And I think the first one was fine. The second one, I never really checked the date on it. And that one was bitter. I wasn't a huge fan of it. But this one's holding strong. The last two have been good. So, nice finish to the little gift that Cecil gave me. Thank you.
I got one still cooking from 2017 that I need to open up that I got off of Cecil.
But you let me know how that one turns out. I'm curious to see if 2017, so that's...
Bunch of mad scientists
4
over
years
here.
now, so...
That was a good year. 2017 was a good year.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta be careful with the 120s because each year they're made differently, just slightly different. It's still quote unquote the same recipe, but because it's not brewed year round, it is still slightly different every single year. Well, they release twice a year, right? But every single batch that comes out is slightly different. So yeah, you could get like, hey, this was a great year. Also, keep in mind, if you go to Dogfish Head's website, they recommend a year or two, potentially up to 3 years. And after that, they recommend do not drink it because it's not good after 3 years. That has not been everybody's forte. People like to drink older ones that are like, this is a fucking 5-year-old one. And they're like, oh, it's still so fucking amazing. But Dogfish Head specifically says on their site, it can go up to 3 years, but anything past that is very personal preference. They don't recommend it.
I mean, that's
now. Do you think it's a safety thing to like save them? Because honestly, the level that we all know as Dogfish 120 aficionados at this point, the level of ABV increase year after year, you start to get into some weird territory after 3.
Only for a certain amount of time. That sugar dies off and that fucking yeast is no longer fermenting and the ABV does not go up after a certain amount of time. And I do believe that time is 1 year. After 1 year, it does not reach any more potency. So it becomes a flavor profile that's different. So no, I don't think they're covering their ass. I think that's what they meant it to taste a very specific way, and that's what they want you to drink it as, and not go into this has become so bitter and
Last year on their Instagram, they opened a bottle from 2014 and drank it.
Oh, I'm sure that they fucking did. And I'm sure they brew it, so yeah, they're gonna get the people that truly like that taste in beer to fucking open it and enjoy the shit out of it. And I would be one of those people, because I do
They
like
even said
Europe.
in that post, it ages well even 7 years later.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It literally says on the bottle, ages well. And that's a very important thing. And I think, you know what, part of me wants to think that this might just be a capitalistic marketing idea of like, yeah, if you drink it within 3 years, it encourages you to buy more frequently. And then your turnover is every 3 years or less, as opposed to every 5 or 6 years, as somebody might be willing to dabble a little further, like us, because we're idiots.
Yeah, but when you're getting to territory of like $15 a bottle of beer.
Yeah, that's why it's that 4-pack. And they're like, yeah, it ages well. Because you're paying $15 per bottle and you're getting that 4-pack, drink one. Age another one for 1 year, drink it. Age another one for 2 years, drink it. Age another one for 3 years, and drink it. And that's your 4 bottles. And that's what they do recommend. So, I mean, it's a straightforward. So, yeah, they're turning around maybe, it's a capitalistic thing. Can you age them longer? Yeah, because I don't buy one 4-pack when I see 120s. I buy a couple of them because, yeah.
I definitely agree with you there, Damok. Now,
or we could buy a keg and try to die. Like last time.
Like Cecil?
Like we did last time. Oh, my God.
Now, I don't know about you guys. I want to pull something off crazy at some point, and that's being able to consume, as a group, at the same time, one that has not been aged, one that's been aged for 1 year, 2 years, and 3 years, all in that same sitting, to like line up a level of bottle aging for like one sit down. So everybody gets to taste that variation.
We would have to get glasses and you know, measure off how much we're drinking so everybody gets like, you know, one good sip, so we're not like, yeah, let me drink 4 120s in one sitting, because that sounds fucking
horrible.
great.
No. I'm more referring to getting together, having us somehow produce 4 separate bottles of different ages and having it tried as a taste test there, because I'd be very interested to see, like, obviously our taste buds are all a little different, and obviously the beer's meant to be aged. And when you factor in the only kind of like random factor there of the year-to-year flavor profile that it already has, I wonder how much variation will actually taste.
But also, on that 4 bottles, that's how you end up doing keg stands in a bathroom in Massanutten.
Cheers to that, Zyber. Cheers to that.
or vomit your brains out, then walk cleanly, though. Walk back and get more.
I'm pretty sure that I
have a
pissed
Damok
between
piss
these.
between your legs.
I was gonna say I pissed between these legs. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, we were
good
pretty
old
wrecked.
Massanutten. All right, well, let's get into what everyone's been playing, or what their, you know, that's their state of games is, or this pontificate word that Cecil constantly wants us to mention in the show because he really likes that word.
It's also a word that after a full 120 minute, you cannot pronounce.
Pontificate. It keeps us classy.
Yes, it keeps us very classy and very snobby. So, Damok, what is your state of games?
Obscenity!
Diablo 2 Resurrected and more Diablo 2 Resurrected, and I haven't stopped playing Diablo 2 Resurrected. It's getting kind of bad. Like, I was addicted to Diablo 2 as a kid, and now I'm addicted to Diablo 2 Resurrected. Even though it's fucking broken and janky and I don't like a lot of it, it's just too much of it is too good, and I played Diablo 2 Resurrected.
Very nice. And Zyber, what is your state of games?
Well, I've been playing some Destiny 2. Cecil got me back into that, so I've been trying to hit that up as much as possible. I've been playing Ghost Recon Breakpoint, getting my ass handed to me on that. I don't think I should have it on the, basically nightmare mode, but hey, live and learn. I actually not been playing, but I started to get into Torchlight 3. That's about it.
Now, Zyber, quick question for you. Now, I've got an unhealthy obsession back in the day with every Ghost Recon game, all the way through Wildlands even, but for some reason I haven't touched Breakpoint. How is it?
I'm not far into it. Blue's the better person to ask. I asked him. He said it was worth playing, so I started playing it. It is worth playing. So far into it, and I'm enjoying it. It's just I'm getting my ass handed to me. I'm not a stealth person, and that game requires you to do a lot of stealth. Hence,
would you
Ghost
like
Recon.
a teammate that likes stealth?
Yes.
I'm in.
There we go. And D, what is your state of games?
Well, I've been cracking into that new one, Metroid Dread on the Switch, so I'm liking it so far. Reminds me of classic Metroid, but you throw in a little bit of that survival horror in it, so that's a lot of fun. Been playing some old school, too. I cracked and decided to replay some Zelda Ocarina of Time on the Nintendo 64. Been playing some Super Mario 3 on the NES. Cracked old school, and mostly just been playing a bunch of my kids, Minecraft, Super Smash Brothers on the Switch, so been playing my kids a little bit here and there. Some Super Mario Kart and everything else, so just kind of bouncing around a bit.
So, if I can cut in real quick, you're playing Minecraft Java Edition, Minecraft Bedrock Edition, which one?
I believe on the Switch, I think it's the Bedrock Edition, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah. On Switch, it's Bedrock Edition. Too easy. I run a Java Minecraft server that all the kiddos and their family and all that shit play on. I was like, if you're doing that one, let me know, dude. I'll give you server invites.
I was actually thinking of, is that the one that you have on Xbox/PC?
It's PC because it's the Java Edition. You have to play it on PC.
Yeah, I'm thinking about putting that on there because my kids have been busting about wanting to try hacks and other stuff and mods, and they've been really wanting to play on a server and stuff, so might get with you later about that, man.
Yeah, too easy. And it's all, it's obviously my server, but it's a bunch of anywhere from 9 to 15-year-olds. Yeah, and then me and Vintage, which is super awkward.
I fall into that 9 to 15-year-old range pretty frequently.
So yeah, no building dicks and tits and all that.
Yeah, no. Everybody's all good.
I'm not skilled enough
the kids on there.
Build all
the
that.
only dicks you can build are the ones that are only visible from way high up with an elytra when you get the angle just right.
All right.
I'm gonna start making sculptures of famous people the name Dick.
There you go. Yeah, you can throw a few Nixon statues in there.
Kind of like when I send women always complain about the dick pic things, and I'll send a picture that's entitled dick pic, but it'll just be some famous guy named Dick. Yeah.
I like sending deck pics. All right, Vintage, what is your state of games?
Well, I've kind of been all over the place lately. Most of what I've been playing lately has been No Man's Sky, actually. I got back into that and started doing a playthrough of that. Now, right before that, though, I was obsessed obsessed with Satisfactory to the point where my computer was running 24/7 for about 8 or 9 straight days because I thought I had efficiency right in the factory to produce what I needed to make. So any time of day it would show I was available, online, and active, which I definitely wasn't. But kind of put that on hold while waiting for the new update there. No Man's Sky has been interesting. I took Cecil's recommendation and did a new playthrough as opposed to try and carry over my old one. But now part of me wants to see what my old one even feels like now that I got the hang of it again. But then I've been dabbling a little bit in Halo Master Chief Collection multiplayer, which I discovered they have one very horrific game-breaking bug that is at the game level of Master Chief Collection and not the individual games, and that's your controls on PC do not remain the same across games. So I'm playing multiplayer on Halo 3. It then will send me into like Halo Reach for the next game. And the control set, I have to spend 10 minutes resetting. There is no apply to all. There is no like any games that have shoot, switch weapons, so on and so on, make that the same. No, you've got to do it every time. So like now I'm just waiting for Halo 2 to be the last one that has to pop up for me so I can set those controls correctly. Because they don't let you switch between the game's control schemes in the menu to actually like set that, which is kind of ridiculous. But I started playing yesterday for the first time The Ascent. That very cyberpunkish, kind of top-down. Is it Diablo-esque, Damok, would you say, in kind of like that play style?
I haven't
just
played
with guns, from what you've seen.
Yes, it's more of like an original GTA shooter game, like Enter the Gungeon type deal from what I saw.
Yeah, so it's a lot of fun. Damn, the graphics are amazing. I am playing on fully maxed out settings on my ultra wide with ray tracing and no DLSS, Damok, because they don't even support it. So man, oh man, is it absolutely beautiful to play the game that people were ranting and raving about, saying this is what the world of Cyberpunk 2077 should have looked like from launch on every system, with this level of detail, this kind of world building, where it's not like super high tech, it's actually a lot of machine stuff, but just everyone's enslaved.
Have you been paying attention to the sci-fi stuff? Because a lot of the devs that worked on Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk 2077 right before 2077 launched, they left CD Projekt Red, and their new game that everybody is saying is what Cyberpunk 2077 should have been is called Invincible. And the new game trailer just came out. I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, I really am interested in that. Well, hopefully, Damok, we can have something to sink our teeth in, because there was supposed to be cooperative or some sort of multiplayer style gameplay from launch, but we'll see if we ever get that.
I'm okay with it, man. Like, I've liked all the patches that they put into 2077, and I'm just waiting for a chance to upgrade my rig, or at least my graphics card, so I can really get a decent playthrough of 2077 this time.
I gotcha. I'm kind of in that stuck position, though. I've got every single achievement in Cyberpunk 2077. It is the only game I've ever gotten every single achievement, and that's just because, like, I found myself not willing to do grinds, but then I found all this downtime, like, oh, I've got 10 minutes while teleworking between this appointment and this appointment. I don't have any emails to respond to. Gonna drive across the map. Gonna do what I need to do to get this very grindy achievement. Might as well put the time in while I've got time to kill, kind of thing. So, that was helpful.
Yeah, check hashtag Gamer News and put the article in there if you guys want to see it.
Awesome. Well, I have tempted for several nights in a row to get into the Battlefield 2042 beta. And I can't get past the login screen. Like, I can't even log in. I can't sign in, can't sign out, can't play. So I ended up playing Battlefield 5 with some friends, going back in the old World War II games. Had some fun. We got some guys together and we actually started kicking some butt and doing well. I did one match where all I did was snipe or spot. And I just basically spent less time like killing people with the rifle, and more time just spotting for everyone. Just like put the spotter scope up and like, oh, hey guys, here's all your targets. Kill them. That's where they're at. That's where they're running from. But I did piss off. I'm pretty sure I pissed off this person. So this guy sees me, and anytime I was running in between positions, I left my rifle on my back or at my side, and I carried my sidearm. And that was like, and if I'm going to face anyone, I'm going to face someone with a semi-automatic handgun and hope I kill them. I killed a guy at 25 yards from me with the pistol when he had the drop on me with his assault rifle. I killed him with that. I'd have to say I'm not a great gamer. I'm not a great player. I am not ashamed to admit that. And I was pretty proud of that moment. I'm sure I pissed him off handsomely.
Oh, dude, I would have been fucking livid. Like, God, you can't hit me with a pistol and I've got my assault rifle. I'm a cheater, hacker, reporting.
Yeah, so
3 bullets is 3 bullets, and that's what I like about the Battlefield series. 3 good shots is a kill.
Yeah, and I mean, I was getting annoyed in the first 2 matches because all I was doing was getting body shots with the rifle, and it wasn't like really powerful, so body shots weren't really going to do anything. So I wasn't even getting kills. I was just getting like assists.
And that's why I like to play hardcore in Battlefield, because bullets do real damage in hardcore.
Yeah, but well, we had some buddies of mine who weren't paying attention and were shooting friends in hardcore, so we weren't going to do that for much longer. But yeah, it was fun. It was nice to get back into some gaming, seeing how I haven't been playing that much.
So I actually did get into the 2042 beta. I played for like 3-4 hours. It was fun.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Nope, you got Blizzard, okay? That was it. You got stuck at a login screen, and then your characters weren't fucking there, and then they got rolled back for 45 minutes. I'm sorry.
Fuck you. No, but 2042 was pretty fun.
Poop?
Hmm?
Is that like Damok's 20-minute poop?
I'm pretty sure Moonfat experienced the same thing. And then you're like, well, I've got meetings to do. And he's like, never mind, it's working now. And you're like, damn it. But no, 2042 was fun. I played that very briefly for a couple hours. I'm a little bothered I did not mention that in my state of games. Very fun. I will tell you, Blue, at first I was very uncomfortable with the fact that if you switch magazine types for your weapon, they have 2 totally separate ammo counts. And then it finally clicked when somebody told me, hey, you're using different types of bullets for those magazines. So obviously it's going to pull from a slightly different stash of ammo. FMJ versus hollow point kind of thing. Just based on the magazine type, which was cool.
That's interesting.
Yeah, but the on the fly was definitely nice.
No. You should not be using different fucking ammunition in a war simulator. Alright? It's fucking steel-tipped, armor-piercing fucking rounds only. That's it. Done and done. Nothing else. You want to pierce body armor, plus you want to rip into vehicles, and hopefully get a fucking shot through the bulletproof glass.
Mm-hmm. I understand. What we're talking like, oh, we'll have a smaller, like 30, as opposed to a 30-round mag in an AK-like rifle. Here's a 20-round mag in an AK-like rifle, but it's armor-pierced tips. And that's got its separate own ammo. I agree with you, Damok, but it is nice to fucking plow through some kids. Okay, let me rephrase that. It is very enjoyable to just mow down people.
So much for that Minecraft server.
Yeah, dude. Holy shit.
To mow down some people with one ammo type, and then be able to switch and be like, well, they're telling me that this has more range, so my brain is telling me that there's likely a little more powder behind this charge. So, cool. It's maybe a 20-round mag, but maybe for this range, I'm going semi-automatic and popping them 3 times as opposed to just trying to melt them at point blank. So that actually has been kind of nice. I will tell you, though, the switching between muzzle brakes is the greatest thing on the fucking planet. If they got rid of all other modifications to the guns, but just allowed you to change muzzle brake in combat, I would fucking love it. You know how many times I'm like, alright, I'm sneaking up. Oh, they spotted me, but now I've got a suppressor, and it's a video game, so I'm going to have some damage fall off, or my range is going to be slightly reduced because they don't calculate damage correctly with a suppressor like they shouldn't, like it works in real life. It is so nice to be able to switch over to just a standard muzzle brake at that point and maintain full damage and be like, well, they already know I'm here, kind of thing.
Well, I'm looking forward to playing the game once it actually comes out. So my friends and I have always enjoyed playing Battlefield together. But let's get into some topics for this evening. So, who here likes DC Comics?
I do.
Anybody like actively like reading comic books?
Not right now, no.
No.
Yeah, neither am I. Well, we're going to talk about this because it's like news related. So, Superman's gay.
Wrong.
He's bi.
Wrong.
No,
His son is.
All wrong. You're all wrong.
He's bi.
Nope. You're still wrong.
Damok, you seen those tights.
You didn't read.
Superman's son is bi.
Yes, it is.
Superman's
It's
Closeted bi?
It's the
Yes.
son of Kal-El is the name of the.
It's like what, like
series.
John Clark instead of Clark, or John Kent instead of Clark Kent.
Yeah,
Yes.
something
His son
like
John
that.
Kent.
So,
yeah.
so Superman's son, who has majority of the powers that his father has, is coming out as gay in the DC Comics.
No.
He's coming out as bi.
Wrong. He's coming out as bi.
Okay, bye.
Okay, so let me just clarify something. He's still Superman, but he's not like OG
Yes.
Superman. He still goes by
Hold
Superman.
on. Hold the fuck on. He is Superman.
Yes.
Fantastical.
Yeah, so he's expected to come out as bisexual and will share a kiss with his boyfriend Jay Nakamura in issue number 5.
Plot twist, they're siblings, and he's not actually bi.
So I gotta agree with the actor Dean Cain on this one. It's bandwagoning. I mean, this is like to me, comics to me were like always like looking at issues of the time, like real problems. Like fighting, like there's like the whole thing with like the World War II like comics, like punching Hitler in the face. I think that was mostly Marvel that did that. I don't remember if DC did that, but it's just like, yeah. So we've got openly gay people, bisexual people these times, but like there's real problems in this world that I think that comics could focus on, and this isn't one of them. I think they should be focusing instead of like the stuff that goes on, like is going on in Afghanistan. Like, why isn't he like going over there and like, you know, like saving people? Or
Can't touch that. Can't touch that.
Because women's rights outside of the United States don't matter. That's my hot take.
Yeah. So all right. Let you know, I'm gonna wrap this up just a little bit, and then we're gonna get into hear other people's opinions, and maybe I'll add in more of my own. But it's bandwagoning. There's other things that he could be doing besides just, oh, he's gay. Like that's not what characters were.
Gay.
About.
Stop saying
whatever.
that he's gay.
Bisexual. Whatever. LGBT.
No, not LGBT. Not at fucking all, dude. He's coming out as bisexual, which is
LGBT.
Yeah, no,
yes,
he's not.
I did
That's
post
what the
something.
all that.
Damok,
Hold on.
you even
Hold the
liked
fuck
it.
on,
I
dude.
posted a Reddit thread about a guy posting on the r/LGBT. It was like, hold up, someone want to explain to me why the B in LGBT stands for bisexual, as in there's two genders? You have now been banned from r/LGBT.
Yeah, well, but the thing is that the B does stand for bi. So LGBT,
Yes, I understand, but they're not going that direct route. By making him bi, they are leaving it open, and that would be okay. They got to do something. Because guess what? Whether you like it or not, and this is going to go super fucking political if I keep going, but whether you like it or not, the world has always been this way. Period. The United States is the most fucking purest bullshit ass country in the entire world. We are the most sexually repressed for a fucking reason entirely. And it's wrong because the Bible actually doesn't say anything against it. Period. It doesn't. There's no actual passage that is directly against it. That's America that does all this shit. Europe, it's acceptable across the board. The rest of the world, aside from ultra hardcore fucking Middle Eastern countries
And Russia.
No, Russia's pretty pro, but okay.
No, actually, they're
Anyways.
not. Really not.
Hold on.
you can go to jail
I'm
in
only
Russia for
half
being
paying
gay.
attention. Did you just try and tell me that Russia's pretty okay with homosexuality?
I said bisexual.
Ooh.
Still
But
no.
That's
Russia's
a weird
kinda
one.
rough.
That plays into like a
Okay,
Roman Empire-esque
Yeah,
opinion.
Anyways.
Continue.
Whether you like it or not, that is the path that we are moving into. And yes, is it bandwagoning? Kind of. I can understand where it looks like it's bandwagoning because it's introducing that and everything, but they're introducing a limited run. They didn't change all of their characters. They didn't suddenly say, hey, Superman's gay or Superman's been bi this whole time. You guys just never knew. And blah,
Yeah,
blah.
which-
They're introducing a side character to bring forth. And as long as they do it the right way and make it a back and forth thing, I do believe it's going to capture the audience because guess what the kids are fucking buying? They're all buying the fucking rainbow flags. They're all buying all this shit. If you want
Some
to
of
make
them
fucking
are.
money, some of them, no, 99% of them. It's, dude, go to a fucking, okay.
Then would you say
If you have a
instead of
kid, go to high
bandwagoning?
school and take it away.
Instead of bandwagoning, would you say they're doing lip service?
Oh, I'm not going to
Yes.
touch that one.
Well, okay, so you're right. Yeah, the Bible doesn't say anything that no, you should not. No, sex is an evil, horrible thing. No, it is celebrated between married. That's their contention on that. But the whole thing that I'm getting at with the bandwagoning thing, you find gay. That's sorry, you are correct. Bisexual, fine. That's your decision. You know, I'm not gonna hate on you for that. What I don't like is the fact that they do have other characters that they've created that have not done well in this avenue, being solely focused on that. And this may be a bridge between. I mean, I'm sorry, son of Superman, whatever. It's kind of a copy. Even if he wasn't bisexual, it's still a copy. It's not reinventing. It's not making something new. It's just kind of like repurposing powers, repurposing kind of like a shell. It's not branching out, really.
No, they can branch out exceedingly well with this. There's
maybe
absolute big potential for branching out because Superman's story was, you know, he woke up on Earth and he had no idea of his past and all of that, and then he had to learn through the fucking humans that raised him, you know, to be a kind and gentle person, to become a fucking hero and all of that. Now you have his son, and his son, so in my head it all makes sense. His son, yes, his dad's a fucking big badass. How are you going to live up to your fucking dad's legacy at this point in time? You're probably a little spun out in your head to begin with. Make him bisexual, have a little bit of fun. The kid's still trying to figure shit out, and they're going from there, and they can really, like, the kid doesn't have to figure out his superpowers as much as his dad had to on his own. He's got some mentoring, and yeah, I think they actually could greatly expand.
Hold on. Worst
on
case
the universe.
scenario, he goes gay. Superman still has his kid Connor, which is basically his clone, but yeah.
Vintage.
Yeah, so I kind of agree with all of you a little bit on this, but where I fall into it is I don't like having a character, whether it's a comic book, movies, what have you, having like a primary point on who they are is what their sexuality is. And that just comes down to that's just how I feel in general. Do I care that you guys are straight or bi or anything, whatever you guys
Don't
maybe,
assume
I
my
don't
gender.
care. Fuck you, Cyber! I'll do whatever I want! Because this is America! But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't think that needs to be a primary point you make about someone. That's why, like, I really enjoyed, like, I think they ended up coming out and saying, like, Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy was bisexual. But the way they did it...
Star-Lord is Gaylord.
The way they did it, though, was they kind of like teased it a little bit. They hinted at it, and it wasn't like a right up front in your face kind of thing. It was like, hey, he fielded an offer for a date with a guy, and he didn't like shut it down in any way. It was like, oh, maybe, sure, that'd be nice. Like, and it wasn't like this be all end all, like, this is now your character now. And that's kind of how I kind of feel like they're treating Superman's son here, where it's just like, yeah, you may be the son of Superman, but you know what the most important thing you're bringing to this world is? You're bi.
I think a lot. I think the biggest problem, like I think deep down with like all these Marvel, DC, and everything it's getting like put under like the woke umbrella. I think the whole problem with woke is not that you're trying something new or you're trying to give something equal to the LGBT, is that you're basically just saying, oh, I don't want to piss off anybody. Here, buy my shit. Here, we're just changing main characters or just changing shit. See, look at, we're trying to serve you now. Yeah, buy our shit. It's forced. It's not well done. It's like forced in your face rather than taking either new IPs, new characters, and introducing them introducing that. They're just kind of changing shit and shoving in your face. Take like the He-Man thing, right? Did they introduce a new and interesting character that's black or whatever? No, they just made one of He-Man's ancestors a black guy. And it's like, okay, genetically that doesn't make any fucking sense. And that's like such a minor character. Why didn't you give one of the other characters? There actually are a few you could have used. You could have brought into the spotlight.
Okay, eventually you can be white if an ancestor is black. I am living proof of this. I have a DNA test.
Yes, but when you take a look at the royal family and his families, it's like they had a previous character. What I'm saying is, instead of just changing shit and just swapping genders, races, and everything, is to say, oh, look, we did a minor character. Like, everybody be happy now. Now we're with it. How about you actually give people some equality? A new major character. Do something original. Make it blend into the story instead of just throwing it up front. It's, like, so jarring because it just doesn't make sense. It's like... It's like, it's like if you take Superman, it's like, instead of saying, hey, let's introduce a new character, happens to be gay, something they can look up to, a new superhero, it's like, okay, Superman's been married to Lois Lane. Fuck it. Bitch, I'm divorced you. I'm gay now. It's like, you could do it well. Not just
bitch, I want dick, damn it. You can't give that to me.
So,
Damok.
I don't think did anybody actually read the article and do a little bit more research after reading the one article? Because I don't think that you guys are taking this the right way.
I was just taking it as a general thing and type. I just read a little bit about it. I really don't read comics that much anymore, and I don't really give a shit if they made Superman's son bi.
Yeah, I agree with you there, D. I think my point I just wanted to make with that was exactly what I already said. Is like, I don't like it being kind of like a front and forth. And now, granted, thank God they're not approaching it from the other perspective of like, some dude is really into Superman, and Superman has to cope with maybe he might be bi, but maybe he's also being an asshole to this guy because he's not sure what he is. Like, at least they're not approaching it from that perspective, because Superman would be permanently canceled.
Hold on. So but could you imagine getting a blowjob from Superman? What that would be like?
Yeah, I think we've all imagined that quite a few times.
It'd be Superman.
That's the one homoerotic fantasy I think all guys have. Like, oh man, Superman blowjob would be. Whew. But anyways, I think we.
What about Batman and all the toys?
I think the point's being missed a little bit. Right? You are getting a new IP. You are getting a new character. And they did not go crazy out of their way to be like, okay, Superman's son, hella gay. We're going this direction. We're going to make it fucking crazy. Buy our shit. We're going to rainbow flag the fuck out of everything. They didn't do that. They said, hey, heads up. We are making his son bisexual, and we are going to have him kiss a boy in this comic coming up. But that does not mean that's going to be his entire adventure. Like I said, they have a huge, reading a whole bunch of other sources, they have the huge, Superman's gone. It's going to be Superman's son. Because Superman, I mean, let's be honest, he hasn't been selling very well. His movies,
I just went on a tangent, man. I wasn't commenting about that. I was just a tangent about woke culture, man.
No, I know, but like in woke culture is an interesting subject.
In
like
its own, yeah.
90% of it's good, 10% of it is scum of the fucking earth. But that can be said just about almost anything. But, you know, it's just interesting. I was reading more about it, and I don't think it is what it's been made to be from when we've graced the topic. It's an own brand new IP. They're not making Superman gay or bisexual. They are introducing his son. They were giving everybody a heads up. This is going to be something that they're going to get into. They're going to address it and move forward. If it doesn't go well, then perfect. They can switch him over to girls. If it goes well, then they can have him flip-flop back and forth. And that's going to be their saving grace from all these other failed, I'm going to make the fucking, oh man, what was it? The ambiguously gay duo in the Playboy fucking magazines.
Oh,
Man,
yes.
Saturday
that was a
Night
good
Live
comic.
did that shit too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I mean they've
my
tried
God.
other things like the Snowflakes, I think is what their actual name were, or something like that. They were like they were these woke kind of characters. There was one superhero that she was like, she had a backpack that was like bottomless, and she was like overweight, and she was like, she had all these like, she checked all these identity boxes, and that's where and that comic didn't sell very well. It did bad. It was not one of DC's best work. And if this is the summation of his character, and he's done some things that I would have to say are a little like wonky, like, oh, he's like trying to help the DACA kids. It's just like, okay, like there are other issues in this world that I think, like, yeah, maybe that affects like a small group of people, but there's something that, like, the thing is like these characters were people that, like, they addressed issues that affected everyone, or affected a large majority of people. Like World War II had a big effect. Like you could talk about things like Afghanistan, like people being stuck over in places. Like there's some relation there with other people who have been like in countries where they're trapped because of regime change, and they're trying to get out for their own safety. And like John Kent, John comes in and, you know, helps these people out. Like there's certain things that I fear that this could go down a road. And you're right, the bi thing does give them a, like, they can flip the switch if they feel like it's not going the right way. But I feel like if this becomes the main focus, and this is just, you know, this idea of it just being this sexuality, like, if that's the main focus, I feel like it's taking away from, like, what else is he? That's what my concern is. And that's what they've done with other characters. Like, they've got more to him than just this. And he's doing better than those other characters that I mentioned. But when they focus so narrowly on boxes, checking boxes, I feel like you take away from a story. Zyber?
Right. I mean, on that whole checking boxes thing, where do you draw the line? I mean, what's next? Damian Wayne is a fucking transgender or something? Where do you draw the line? Do you just continue doing the comics in their natural progression, or do, like you said, continue jerking off society and checking all these boxes?
So, Blue, you keep comparing it to, hey man, you know, we had these comics of fucking World War II, and why don't they do something about Afghanistan? They'll never touch that fucking subject with the 100-foot pole with 2 condoms on it, man.
That's did it in the Marvel MCU.
Nope, they stayed the fuck away from the actual withdrawal. So they stayed away from the withdrawal troops entirely. They stayed away from the downfall of Afghanistan entirely. Why? It's anti-US government if they were to cover it. And when we're looking at World War II, we were doing massive pro-US government propaganda across the board because everybody was doing their part to smash the Nazis. Not everybody's doing their part to do a shameful withdrawal out of Afghanistan, and let's go ahead and publicize it, and then let's, you know, make it a big deal, and then let's write it down in all these crazy history books, and let's idolize it. And we idolize killing the Nazis. Americans do, at least. I mean, fuck. Our whole culture idolizes. How many goddamn World War II video games come out where you kick the shit out of all the Nazis, right? I think there's 19 games every other day that get released, from independent studios to AAA titles to everything. We idolize the fuck out of that.
Can we idolize
AAA titles? You no longer
Chinese
kill
Communist Party
Nazis
people?
because that's not okay. Killing a Nazi is now a protected group, and you can't talk about it.
That's not true.
They're implied Nazis. They are implied Nazis. Just look at Call of Duty Vanguard and Call of Duty World War II and a handful of others. They don't refer to them as the Nazis anymore.
No, they don't. And they don't use the Nazi paraphernalia anymore because what? Because we have a white supremacist problem in the United States. And guess what they do? Oh, they play the video games, except they choose the side of the Nazis, so they get these authentic, great-looking uniforms, and they smash the Allies and live through weird shit, just like if you were to download a school shooter fucking video game.
Yeah.
The fuck is wrong with you? But so now I can see him not touching the Afghanistan situation because there's nothing to rally behind. That was a huge blunder in American history. That will go down as a massive blunder in American history.
Yes.
Because we have fucked up after fucked up after fucked up. I promise there will be no fucking helicopters. This is not the last chopper out of Saigon.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. Yeah, guys. That was a massive blunder.
And they should touch that
they won't
stuff.
touch it, but they won't touch it with a superhero because it's not a realistic thing. But we can have Captain America kicking the shit out of the Nazis. Not a fucking problem, dude. I mean, we kicked the shit out of the Nazis. No big deal. The whole world loved it. We loved it. We idolized the fuck out of it. We are not idolizing shit.
We
you
went
don't see
to
a lot of us idolizing
Vietnam
Vietnam
with Iron Man. The original Iron Man comics were in the Asian countries during Vietnam.
Remember, it was never, ever the Vietnam War. It was the Vietnam conflict.
Yes.
And therefore, we can say that we won, just like when George W. Bush got on that fight, was the USS Enterprise, and declared, mission accomplished, the global war on terror is over, in, 2004? 2003?
3. I think it was 3.
Yeah. And he said, mission accomplished, we're good, the war is over. Now we have an Iraq conflict and an Afghanistan conflict, so we can't lose and shame those fucking things.
So why can't we do Desert Storm? Desert Storm was actually looked
boring.
at some...
Yeah.
Well, the major events and battles in there, I wish would get a little more things. Because when was the last time you heard
Desert
about...
Storm? Isn't that all CSGO or CS is? I mean,
Fuck you, it doesn't have a campaign, they don't explore it in an accurate sense.
Okay, yeah, and that's a good point. There are some things that are anti-American, but there's some things you can be pro-American. I mean, you talk about their, people over
You
here
alienate people.
who are
alienate people.
Okay,
in large
yeah,
groups.
okay. So let's talk about bringing some people in here. So let's talk about looking at people who identify as LGB. And as humans, no. Let's look at them as humans, and then let's have.
I heard the same thing you did, Damok.
No, stop. Let's have John Kent go over in Iran and save some people who identify that way.
No,
why not?
Wrong.
Why?
You're going to alienate a whole fucking country and anybody that has any pride that's half Iranian or full Iranian living in the United States, because now you have a U.S. superhero going over to their country and fixing all the mistakes.
No. Not talking about fixing. I'm talking about saving people. Saving these people who would be otherwise killed. Now, just go in there. Now, I'm not talking about let's go to Iran and change everything with John Kent. No. Go there and find these people and save them.
Over
and saves people.
That's Muhammad getting stoned in the courtyard because he's gay.
Yes, something like that. That's simple in the most basic way. I'm sure they can flesh it out into something more action-packed. But yeah, why doesn't he go do that? Why?
Because we won't actually ever do that.
But we're not.
Have our
we're not him.
characters
That's
do
the
that.
thing. He's
Yeah,
John
we can.
Kent.
We've done
Is he?
stuff
He's
like
not
that in comics
He's
before.
not Sergeant John Kent. He ain't. He's not Lieutenant John Kent. He's not Captain John Kent. He's not Private John Kent. He is John Kent. He is the son of Superman. Save the people. But they won't do that.
You have a bisexual
Mm-hmm.
fucking white male
Who
going
associated with America.
Going there just to save people.
No, he's associated with America, so he's an American bisexual white male going to a Middle Eastern country that notoriously is anti-US, and he's going there and toppling the regime by saving
not
one
toppling.
person. Oh, that's what
Hey,
you're
he's
getting
an
into.
alien.
No,
He's
I'm not getting into
Kryptonian, you
toppling.
racist.
I'm getting into.
Hold
It
on.
doesn't
John
matter.
Connor-
Don't forget,
Hold on.
Ronald Reagan sent Superman to do the U.S.'s bidding in tons of the comics, so don't even get me started.
And then, like, Connor snuck into places that he wasn't supposed to be. So Kent can sneak into
but
places.
Connor is a product of Cadmus, which
Yes,
is
okay,
a
but
secret
but
government.
he still had the S, which still making him association with the big guy. And so the thing is that I'm not saying he needs to go in there and kill or beat up the Ayatollahs. I'm saying go there to save people. The UN saves people without doing military
Saves
conflict.
people.
Yeah, there are air quotes in that.
No,
but the thing
I
is
understand. I understand what you're saying. Why don't we have a superhero that can do all that? Well, we can't do it because that's a whole politically charged move entirely that would really have a massive fucking backlash across the board for DC, for Marvel, whoever the fuck it was.
From who?
Would have a worldwide backlash.
But people
Period, end of story.
support LGBT.
Remember, it doesn't fucking matter. You were taking DC Comics or Marvel Comics. It doesn't fucking matter. They're both ultra fucking white male associated and American fucking comics. Regardless, now you're taking these fucking. It doesn't. He can be bisexual. He can be fucking gay. It can be a lesbian character. Doesn't matter. You could even make her black for all that fucking matter. But now you're going into a notoriously anti-US country and saving people because they need saving because only America can save people. You're going to get into
Not
a
America.
whole fucking nasty. But yes, they're going on behalf of America.
Association.
So
is
you're
the
telling me
problem.
that John Kent stands for the national anthem, says that he is for the red, white, and blue like the old Superman used to be. I highly
Yes.
doubt it. I think that he's more along the lines of he's not a big fan of the U.S. government, and that he's not for America.
Okay, have
He's
you
for
read
the
the
world.
comics?
He's for the world. That's what I think he probably is. Because there's been
Have
this
you read
whole
the
contention with, no, I have not, but there's been this whole contention where Superman has been a citizen of the world and not a citizen of America. Not for the American way was what it used to be, the old Superman cartoons. Like, I think they were from like the 70s or the 80s.
He evolved into a beacon of peace globally.
Yes. So that's the thing. It's a beacon of worldwide peace. So if he's got that card in his deck, like he's not Captain America where it's like Captain America. He's just John Kent. He's for the peace of the human race. That's how they've played his father in these new movies. They haven't played him as an American. I don't listen to the U.S. military. He stood against them. He says he's there to help the world, to help the people of the world. The Justice League helped the world. Didn't help America. It just happened to help America every now and then. But that's the thing.
Then you
They
also have
could play
the
him
Justice
that
League of
way.
America.
But the fact is that I think that there's more that they could get to. But instead, if they're going to focus on just he's kissing a guy, it's like, it's not really what these guys were about.
No, I think it's going to be more than that. I honestly think it's going to be more than kissing a guy, but I think that your expectations of them
Superman
going
manga
into that,
confirmed.
yeah, I think that you're trying to get into a spot where no company is dumb enough to take on that outreach because it's going to be seen. An American company making American comic books for Americans. Okay? The global audience, some of them buy our shit. Most of them don't. Comic books are still a very American thing. Right?
The Warner license on Superman is global, Damok.
No, I never said that they don't have
Damok's
global
right.
licenses.
It is an American concept. It's not a manga. It's a comic. It's an American concept, and he's right on that.
Right, and I'm not saying that we're the only ones that have fucking, cartoon fucking books and shit like that.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying Superman is written in each country in its own way.
Yes, yes, because like I said, some of the countries buy our shit and they're interested, but not all of them entirely. But still, comics themselves are seen as very, very American, right? And it is what it is. You can't have Americans going into a non-American country and saving their people because it looks look how bad the Iranians are.
Version of Superman from, say, France or Abu Dhabi.
That's fine. That's not a problem. But now you're not talking about Superman's son.
I come here to liberate my people from the eternal sand.
You are.
You have something negative to say? You listen to me.
You are having Superman's son go in. It's just the way it's written in that country. How is that any different than it being from, say, Warner Studios, DC Comics?
Keep in mind, hold on a second. Superman's son is not international entirely yet. Superman's son is a new range of fucking... maybe. They have big plans for it, but also remember, we were just talking about earlier, there are several countries that do not allow bisexual and or homosexual fucking imagery or even base storyline. And
China's one of them.
If DC is truly going to make that a big part of Superman's son and going to stick to it, they're going to have to alter it entirely for some of these other countries. So, I understand where you're coming from, Zybers. Superman was a straight, cis, white male, fucking go forward, do good, and he wanted global unity and everything. But at first, he was very American and only wanted American things, and he only helped America for the longest time. Then he branched out. Then he wanted the global thing. He evolved.
But you have to think you're going from Gold Age, Silver Age, to Bronze Age, to Modern. And the Bronze to Modern is where the metamorphosis of what the Gold and Silver was just vanished. That was written out. You got into more modern ways of thinking outside of World War II, outside of Vietnam, outside of the Korean War, outside of Superman joining the military to show America, hey, if I'm doing it, so can you.
Right, that was all propaganda during the war. Absolutely.
Right. Once you got into the modern age, from, like, say, I think it's 85 to, like, current, Superman went from that all-American boy, for America, by America, whatever, to a global sensation and written as a global entity.
Because everybody evolved. Everybody evolved. Not just the comic.
Right.
No one wanted to read fucking the same old comics about World War II and Superman smash. So yes, he had to evolve, and now this is the next stage of evolution.
Warner Studios, England, France, Russia, Japan, Asia.
There's no problems there.
Right.
There's no dispute over he's not a global.
No, hold on. He was written into those countries and their values. It's not the comic that is written in New York City going to those countries. It's that country writing a comic about Superman in their country. It's not the same comic.
Yes, but no. It's still the same hero.
It's still the same hero, yes, but it's in their country. He is fighting for them, not just America.
Right. He's become, and there's no disagreement.
Where
he's
is Superman's
become a global
home?
entity.
Where's Superman's home?
In America.
Antarctica.
Are you sure? Right, exactly. Antarctica.
Yeah. No,
who owns Antarctica?
It's not in Antarctica.
Yes, it is.
The United States.
No, it's Antarctica. He's
his fortress of
Fortress of
Solitude.
Solitude.
No, his home is where he fucking grew up with his parents.
That's
and his
where he
parents
grew up.
Are fucking.
That's different.
Oh, they grew up in
No,
Kansas.
That's where he
that's
grew
what
up.
he calls. No, he calls it home in everything, including modern. It is home. Now, his Fortress of Solitude, yes, he goes back to his Fortress of Solitude. That is where he goes. But when he talks about home, when he reminisces about home and all that and where he's from, he doesn't even talk about the original fucking planet and all that. He talks about that farmhouse that he was on. So we can argue, does he live in the Fortress of Solitude now? Yes. Where is his home?
Kansas.
Fucking Midwest America. He's
Smallville,
diehard, born
Kansas.
and bred.
That's where
Correct.
he grew up. But
Correct.
that might be his childhood home, but his modern home is Fortress Solitude. That's where he can keep everything safe. That's where he can keep neutral. Even when they had the, the Javelin space station, Javelin? I think that's what it's called.
Yes.
In space, before Cadmus forced them to destroy it. The Solitude.
I'm just saying,
Fortress Solitude
when
was
somebody
his home.
says, where are you from, where's your home, and all that kind of good shit, dude. I mean, I'm from California. I will say, hey, California's my home. That's where I was born and raised. Most everybody, I would assume here, would say the same type of thing. If somebody says, hey, man, where are you from, where's your home? We're like, oh, well, I'm originally from blah, blah, but I live in blah, blah now. Right? And so Superman's home. He was born and raised an American. They made sure that he was a red-blooded American. They didn't wipe the canon out from the original Superman comics. They never actually rewrote it. They did not wipe the canon out.
No, they didn't. They didn't wipe it out. They made it so that he could be a global hero, basing him out of Antarctica instead of just white cornbread, all-American Smallville, Kansas.
Correct. He evolved. And that's what I'm saying. His son is the next step in the evolutionary process for Superman going forward. Because at this point, it sounds like Superman's going to do some weird off adventures, and they can have his son pick up a lot of things and carry the torch from there.
But they already did this arc one time over with Superman's son.
I haven't seen it.
With Superman 10 million. So, like, now they're doing another version of it outside of the 10 million, or I should say 10 million suns, because that's the equivalent of years he spent living in the sun.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see anything about Superman's son before. This is the first I'm hearing that Superman had a son. And I'm like, I'm not quite sure how that works.
Yeah,
but
he, in 10 Million Suns, he had a child with this really deranged goddess lady, and he was a real terror.
Vintage?
I just wanted to briefly mention, we were talking about how Superman can't really get involved in these things without being looked at as, like, supporting the American ideals because of who the Middle East typically is referred to as in the US and alienating that entire population. If you guys watched The Boys on Amazon Prime or read the comics for it, they approach it from almost like a full 180 flip of that exact concept, which is you've got superheroes that are corporatized, that are somewhat looked at as the bad guys in the show, but in the comic, but they're trying to convince the US government, specifically through Congress, to let these superheroes effectively act on behalf of the United States, let them get involved in these conflicts with the full backing that they're not going to be given like war crimes or something like that for participating in military action. So I just thought it was very interesting with They talk about that. They do have some very minor involvement you get to see before it's formalized because they're like, hey, look what we can do kind of thing. But they definitely approach that from the perspective of like, yeah, this is definitely bad. Like a superhero acting on behalf of the United States now wouldn't necessarily be looked at as so much of a positive everywhere in the world as it was back during World War II, where oh, well, it just happens to be the US, but the whole world fucking hates the Nazis, and it's great to watch them get their asses kicked, kind of thing. The only other point I wanted to make was Why can't we just accelerate the world to World War III with China, where everyone can hate China or whoever is instigating, whether that's China or North Korea or what have you, so we can have a superhero from the United States get involved and it be considered a positive thing again? I want that in my comics again. I want to be alive and tell my future kids, hey, I grew up during the same time that Superman was over there fighting those communists or whatever we want to refer to them as when World War III breaks out, but that global support, I don't know if we're ever going to get to again because of the just international divide that we have. It's seemingly on a very basic level where it's no longer, what's your opinion on this? What's your opinion on that? It very much comes down to, well, I'm an American. Oh, that's fantastic. You're an American. You must support the war in the Middle East that killed many people that weren't necessarily terrorists or was looked at and frowned upon by the people that lived there. Like, there's a lot of bullshit with that. I just want to move past it and fight the next war and it be fully supported internationally.
No, let's not. I think we're done with wars for a little bit, hopefully.
You could tell the sarcasm in that.
Yeah, you were facetious. I got it. I don't know. I'm watching, after reading a couple articles and a couple things, I'm going to go and buy the Superman Sun comic.
Well, you let us know how it shapes out and if it's enjoyable.
I'm curious.
Let's go ahead and get into our next segment. We're gonna play a little game. I'm Blue Shark 45, and I like changing things up on this show. We haven't done something like this.
First, let me say thank you, Blue, for having me on the show and obviously making me feel welcome. It's been a long time since you and I have been on the show together, and I can tell you were a fantastic
so the premise of this game
I really appreciate your time. Anyway,
you're in a game.
Vintage
video game. I'm gonna list off these video games, and you can only pick.
You guys can usually find me roaming around the Discord from time to time. Not quite the same level of shit posters, Damok, but
so
I like
you either have to be able to hold it in one or two hands.
Because
no vehicles,
there could be two that plays
no
that game.
Super cannon,
every once in a while,
space stations. It just has to be something like that you would carry as a player.
With
1 to 2 hands.
I play all sorts of things. If you guys want to see me
stream
at all
that
and
option
hear my points of view
in a game,
just harass me in the Discord.
You have
That's
to go up
usually
to
the
the
best
table,
way to convince
pick your
me
one
that
weapon,
now's a good time to
get
stream.
ammo every time
thanks for having me,
you
guys.
move through any mission. And this is the only ammo that you will pick up. What is the one weapon that you will use from start to finish of this game? So let's go ahead and start off with something like Medal of Honor Frontline, or if you haven't played that before, it's a World War II base game. So let's pick something like any Call of Duty World War II game or any other World War II game. The weapons are pretty much standard procedures. So Damok, what weapon would you pick to start off a game of like Call of Duty World War II or Medal of Honor Frontline, start to finish?
Is it the Sturmgewehr, the first assault rifle ever built? Because the thing, you could fucking slam it against concrete as hard as you can with two hands, and it's still going to load that magazine. It's still going to fire. And it was accurate as fuck for being one of the first assault rifles ever. Plus, the rate of fire was nasty and bigger fucking damage, and you can tear into fucking armor with it.
All right. I like that. Cyber, what about you?
Grenade launcher. Rocket launcher, whatever the equivalent.
So like the bazooka?
Huh?
The Stunzer? Yeah. So it has to be the weapon that was from that game. So like the
I can't remember what it's fucking called, but yeah.
Okay. Blow crap up as you move through?
Well, which one? So grenade launchers weren't quite a thing then. So you have the German Panzerfaust, and then you have bazookas, which were the Allies.
Bazooka?
Bazooka, yeah. Bazoombas.
Oh, man.
Bazoombas.
No.
Okay.
Panzerfaust. Easy to reload and fire again.
Just gotta hope that no one gets too close. All right, what about you, D?
I said I cast Fireball, not how big the room was.
D?
Yeah, help if I turn my mic mute off.
Yeah,
But
I
I'm gonna side with Damok on that because those things were so fucking versatile.
Okay.
And you could use them also if you run out of ammo. You could use them as a fucking club.
Oh yeah, they were not light by any means, but I mean, we're talking video games, so I don't have to worry about my strength.
Yeah, or endurance, exactly.
Oh, I have plenty of endurance.
All right, so my shoulder's going to hate me at the end of this, but I had an appreciation for the Browning automatic rifle. 30-06, body shots probably going to kill, and it had a rapid rate of fire, but it also had a controllable rate of fire, where you could fire at single shot. I feel like you that long barrel, you got range, and I do like range. So I would go with the Browning automatic rifle because,
Oh, dude, the bar was a great weapon, period. That's Bonnie and Clyde shit right there,
exactly.
Man. They tore up the fucking area.
Yeah. All right. So let's go a little more space agey here. Halo. What is Master Chief going to defeat the Covenant and the Flood with? Let's go ahead and start with you, D.
I'm going to use the sword because, frankly, I suck at that game anyway, so at least I got a chance at a one-hit kill.
Nice. Up close and personal. I like it. All right, how about you, Zyber?
I am going full-on Needler. I love those guns, so that's where I'm going. I love the Needler.
Nice. Explode your enemies and send them flying across the room. Very nice. All right, Damok, what about you?
I'm going with the most compact, convoluted, crazy fucking damage sniper rifle in the whole game, the pistol. That stupid thing in Halo is the golden gun. It shoots across the map with no drop off, does full damage, drops shields, kills people. Its rate of fire could be a little improved, but at that point in time, I'm shooting across the fucking map, and my helmet has zoom. We'll be all right.
Man, the original
yes.
handgun was just fucking OP'd.
Yes, it was. It was very, and I thought about that, and I was very like, there's that, but I gotta stick with my old favorite because I loved it every time I dropped other weapons to pick this one up. Battle rifle, scope, 3-round burst. Man, I loved Halo 3, playing SWAT, headshots only, like that was my thing. Like, I loved that gun. Like, it was perfect.
In Halo 3, though, like,
gun.
when you did the fucking PvP matches, I love that hammer, dude. Absolutely love the hammer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the hammer was very cool.
What was it, Griff Ball?
Yes, Griff Ball. That's what it was. Or no, yes, it was Griff Ball. Yeah, the hammer, and then there was Oddball, which I think it was just you had the ball and you were just like more powerful and people killed you, but Griff Ball was with hammers. Okay, so let's go back in time. Let's go to one of the original FPSs.
We're going for GoldenEye?
We're going for GoldenEye. So,
I know exactly the weapon.
All right, so Damok, let's make D wait a little bit longer. What are you gonna pick up?
The RCP-90. Right?
Very
the one
nice.
That had that ultra crazy rapid fire that just run into room, spray everybody down, you're done. And you run out of the room. And hopefully you can go and get the fucking body armor, because you're gonna get got after that.
All right. Zyber, what about you?
PPK.
Okay. And, D, what about you, bud?
Proximity mines, because I'm a dick.
Okay. I cannot remember the name of this gun for the life of me, and I'm currently stalling and looking it up. But it was the one that you had mentioned, Damok. What was it again? The
yeah, I think it was the RCP-90. I could be getting
the
name wrong.
RCP.
Earlier you said the golden gun, which was a bitch ass gun.
Yeah.
Well, no, because you could get all the guns as golden guns and all of that. And that's kind of cheating because they were one-shot kill guns and you could unlock all of them. So I was trying to do a gun that when we were playing with our fucking 64 controllers in my buddy's house, you would get two people with the RCP-90. You would play, was it Facility? And the body armor is in the very back. And of course, you get those proximity mines and you would stick them on things. But that stupid fucking silver pistol could shoot through the bulletproof glass and detonate the mines so that you could run past and do all other shit.
So mine was it was okay, here we go. Found it. The Klob. That's what it was. I liked dual wielding those. So those are like the Scorpion, like machine pistols. I think they shoot like 9mm in real life.
Yeah, they're probably 9mm.
Yeah. So I loved those. Just rapid fire. They were just so much fun to me. Okay, so now let's go a little dark here. Let's go with some Gears of War. D, what weapon are you going to use?
I played that so long ago and only like a couple times, so I don't remember which weapon would be what.
Can you think of anything?
I like the chainsaw one.
The Lancer. The
Yeah, the Lancer. I didn't remember the name, but I liked that when I played it. I did remember playing with that.
Yeah, the chainsaw attachment to the assault rifle.
Yeah.
All right, Zyber, what about you, bud?
Oh, fuck yeah. Lancer all the way. All the way.
All right. I can respect that. All right, Damok, what about you, bud?
Third time's a charm, baby. It's a Lancer across the board. I don't think I used any other weapon in that game.
All right, and well, ladies and gentlemen, we have it unanimously, the Lancer, because who doesn't love coming up behind your enemy and chainsawing them in half?
I'm pretty sure, though,
should be a national sport.
That's the gun that, like, they made Gears of War just so you can have that fucking gun,
yes,
and nothing else mattered.
Yes, they did. I mean, that was pretty much like, you look, if someone told you, I have a video game, it's called Gears of War. Okay, never heard of it. I'm going to show you one of the weapons in this game. The Lancer would tell the entire story right there. It's just like, so I have an assault rifle that's really big, and we've put a chainsaw as an underbarrel attachment. Okay.
There goes my $60 on the counter. I'll take one.
Yeah, right? All right. So this is something that I'm ashamed to say that I never really played. And I believe most of you have played this game, Half-Life. So have we played Half-Life before? And what favorite weapon from Half-Life do we want to use? I'm going to start with you, D. What do you got? You looking it up? Anybody?
Yeah, I wanted to find the name of the one I was thinking of, but yeah, that'll take a little bit.
Okay.
But I really like the heavy shotgun. I really just like walking around with the shotgun and blowing people away at close range. But there was one other one that I'm trying to think of, but yeah, that'll come to me eventually. It's been a while since I played it.
Zyber, you got one?
Crowbar.
A crowbar?
I'm using a crowbar.
Okay. Bash people's heads in with a crowbar?
Oh, yeah.
Aliens?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm at a crossroads here because I agree with D that the combat shotgun was phenomenal. The MP5 was great, but it was not the shotgun. However, I do think the crossbow with the one-hit kill, you know, and then you can pin them to walls and shit like that in the later versions of Half-Life, I do think the crossbow would be my pick. It's slow to reload, but it's got the scope on it. It goes a long way. I pick crossbow.
Okay. So I remember that Half-Life spawned Counter-Strike, and I believe it was because Half-Life weapons, minus maybe any like alien type weapons. So I'm gonna have to go with the MP5 on that one. I believe that was one of the weapons in Half-Life, because I know that was one of the weapons in Counter-Strike.
It was in Half-Life, and then when Blue Shift came out, they converted the skin into like an M16, and
They had an AR too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't think Counter-Strike used the Half-Life weapons. Maybe the early iterations of it did. But yeah, I mean, the MP5 was there. It's just different from the Half-Life one.
Okay. So do any of you guys have any favorite games that you want to like mention, and like maybe like some favorite weapons from
Ghost Recon.
Okay. What do you got for me, Zyber?
That special 50 cal. I love that thing.
Okay, you're talking about the one that basically takes down helicopters?
Yep.
Yep. That would be one of my favorite as well. What about you, Damok? You got anything?
You know, that's a hard choice. I didn't think about it, but if I have to pick a favorite weapon, it definitely has to be the heavy SMG in RimWorld. Once I can start mass producing those and get my colonists up with heavy SMGs, I got a pretty sturdy colony going.
Okay. Nice. What about you, D? Any favorite weapons from any video games?
The original Doom, BFG. Fuck all y'all demons.
All right. I gotta say, D, you and I are kind of on the same level, except I gotta go old fashioned here. The double barrel shotgun from Doom, because, you know, as much as I love the fancy new guns that we have in this world, and then they have in the video game world, there's just something satisfying about two shells popping out and popping in two more to blow someone's head off. That's got to be my favorite right there.
Another nice mention is Quake's Quake's pipe bomb gun.
Okay.
That's a good one. I mean, you could bounce those pipes all over the place and blow shit up. Loved it.
Yeah, I remember playing Quake 3 Arena with you guys and my brothers.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, that was a great game. I didn't play with you guys, but I played the shit out of that one.
No, more like Zyber, Cecil, and my brothers, yeah.
What about the video game gun that got turned into a real gun from Quake? The railgun.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. That, too. That was nice. Throwing those spikes all over the place. Hell yeah.
Nice. Yeah, the railguns those things are scary. I was watching, what's his name called? Gosh darn it. This is going to kick my butt. He's a YouTuber. He's from Texas. He does guns. Demolition Ranch.
Are you talking about how they sent like a 8-foot rod through a bomb bunker?
Yeah, stuff like that was really cool. But the Demolition Ranch guy said he's like, I finally own a railgun, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. I look at it. It shoots discs, and it goes like a shotgun mode, which is really rapid. It's a burst. So you have to like keep pulling for it but it'll go through the 25 round magazine rather quickly. And, you can change the intensity, but, it's powerful enough to go through a watermelon, at close range. And, I mean, it'll probably hurt a heck of a lot harder than a paintball gun, but I got really excited. I was like, oh, wow, you could actually buy a rail gun. No, you can't. No, you can't.
So what you're saying is some YouTuber is working on the gun from I Come in Peace that shoots discs.
Yeah, pretty much. So that's what he managed to get his hands on.
I think I just imagined probably like the worst gun, like the worst type of cannon on the planet in my little head.
It's called the E-Shotgun. And, yeah, shoots.
I just thought of something that would be awful.
Freightless, smokeless, shellless, low recoil. The ammo capacity is 50, but it's like it's 25 on one side, and you take it out, flip it over, and there's another 25 on the other side. But
I just thought of something that would be completely awful.
Non-lethal.
Take like a cannon, and just have a thing of just a solid big mass of just fucking like needles. Oh
yeah.
I don't think unless you're up close, you're not gonna die, but that shit would suck.
Yeah, putting pretty much nails. I mean, that's what grape shot was.
Yeah, it's pretty much grape shot with freaking needles. That would be awful.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and end it on that note. So, Dee, why don't you tell the lovely people where they can find you?
Well, besides inventing evil weaponry, you can find me on my website, microbregamers.com. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I've got my own Discord channel, Microbregamers. I'm on YouTube, so pretty much a little bit of everywhere.
Very good. And Zyber, where can they find you?
You can find me hanging out on the G.N.A. Discord. That's about it.
All right. And Damok, where can the good people find you?
I'm primarily in the G.N.A. Discord, but I also troll thoughts and shots when they allow me to.
Well, we're always glad that you're allowed to troll our one of our buddies' podcasts. Buddy podcast, not single buddy. There's two people on that show, not one.
Yes,
just
Brendan
don't want to confuse
Devin.
you people. We don't want to confuse people. There are two, not one. Do not go to the thoughts and shots.
I was kind of sad who I thought they were first when they said thoughts and shots. I was like, do you guys have some chicks on there? You guys like.
No, I doubt we're ever. I
think the wrong type of thought.
I think the only woman that we've ever had on the G.N.A. podcast since the G.N.A. crew has taken over, not since there has been others. Tinks has been on, and the River Tamcat has been on here, but when Gravemind was host. But since we've taken over, I think the only woman who's ever been on the G.N.A. podcast for an entire show, extended period of time, not making an appearance like your wife, or Cecil's wife or my wife. Because I mean, let's face it, my wife never finished an entire show on Cecil, and I think Damok, you were there too. But I think it was Slangel. From TPC was the only one. But anyway, I'm your host, Blue Shark 45. You can find me on the G.N.A. podcast. You can find me on the G.N.A. Discord. And you can find me on Twitter as Blue Shark 45. We are sponsored, in a sense, by Humble Bundle. For those of you who don't know, Humble Bundle is a great way to buy your video games because you can determine where your money goes. Does it go to the publisher when you buy it in the mega box stores? By God, yes it does. But where you really want it to go, do you want it to go to charity? Do you want it to go to the developer? You should have control over that. So go over to Humble Bundle. Find a Humble Bundle link online that's got a great deal, great sale on games. Well, you go ahead and put $partner equals G.N.A. podcast at the end of any of those links to let them know that we sent you. But make sure you slide that bar all the way over to 0 when it comes to us, because we don't want your money. We don't want it. We want you to give it to charity. We want you to give it to the developer. So make sure you go check out Humble Bundle the next time you want to buy video games for your PC or for your gaming console. And ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you. I'd like to thank our guest for coming on this show. I'd like to thank Vintage for hopping in on here. We're going to make sure you know where to find him. I got to edit that in, and I have no idea how I'm going to do it, but I'll figure out something. Hopefully I can get hopefully I can get a power supply so I can charge this thing. I got to find some way to edit this podcast, but I'm sure we'll make sure this show drops for you next week, and we hope that you tune in every week to the G.N.A. podcast. Thank you all, and have a blessed evening.
Have a good night, man.
Good night, brother.